Hello, classmates. Here we are, Chapter 3, Part 2. And just a reminder, you want to have your book right there and you want to have something to write with, pen, pencil, piece of paper. And of course, you need to get your brain ready. So, bzzz, we can do the bzzz. And how can we get our brain ready to learn? Well, let's first review what you already watched, heard about. So it's the difference between proper and common nouns, and we reviewed how to make regular and irregular nouns plural. So there was something about the ES and then the ES, and the irregular nouns were something that we just had to memorize. Lots of rules about nouns ending in Y, F, and O, and S sounds, and surnames, and compound nouns, and numerals, and letters, and acronyms. Oh boy, that was kind of fun, right? So let's move on. Here we continue. This one is all about the apostrophe, and this is, oh my goodness. Remember in chapter 12, we covered the apostrophe, the hyphen dash and then apostrophe use. Well, this is where we're really getting into it, and I think it's fabulous, and you will use it all the time starting right now. If we have descriptive and possessive nouns, so we'll figure that out. And of course, also, how do we create the correct possessive forms? So let's start with possessions. Oh, yes. So we have, I'm going to move this over here. So here we have the reason why we use apostrophes. Well, ownership, that would be the possession part, and also origin. So for example, if we say, you know, I'm from Germany, so I am Germany's Claudia, right? So it would be Germany apostrophe S. Authorship, this is somebody's book, so it would be Mark Twain's The Awful German Language. And measurements, of course, and we'll get to that in just a moment. All right, so how do we know where to put that little kind of thing? Well, there is a test for that, and thank goodness, right? Look at the first sentence. Have you seen Monica's book? Hi, Monica. Have you seen Monica's book? Have you seen the book of Monica? Or have you seen the book belonging to Monica? The children's playground, the playground for the children. So this is where we can always kind of turn things around, okay? Very important. That's why this is called see how this this part here is named one, and notice how they are always nouns too. And this is where the number 2 is, and this is where it indicates about what it is. So number 1 is Monica, number 2 is the book, which is Monica's book. Let's see how this works out. How can we reverse this? Well, as I mentioned before, the book of Monica, right? So the playground of the children, the schedule of the waitress. So this is how we can check whether it actually is a possessive construction. All right, test. Keep that in mind. So in order to really place the apostrophe in the right place, we need to go through 3 steps. Number 1, we have determined that yes, it is a possessive kind of ownership kind of situation. Sorry, my foster cat Sweet Pea is going bananas back there. Can you? I don't think you can see it. There she is. Oh, is it singular or plural? And does it end in an S or S sound? Okay, so let's continue. We're still on the second step. When it doesn't end in an S or S sound, then we add the apostrophe and the S. Yay, Monica's book, children's playground. However, if it is singular and ends in an S or S sound, then we add an apostrophe and an S. But if the ownership word is plural and does end in S, so we add an apostrophe only. And this is where it gets a little weird, right? So years is plural and ends in an S sound. Therefore, only years, apostrophe, nothing else. And what about identity? So that's a little bit tricky. The way I remember it, if we have anything that encompasses, that basically is the name of something, like sales or human resources or United States Navy, then it doesn't get any kind of possessive. What about compound nouns? Again, here we have the famous father-in-law or the daughter-in-law. Now remember how we made it plural? We put the plural on the distinguishing word. So that was fathers-in-law. Remember that? However, if we want to show that my father-in-law, the house of my father-in-law, we would do the father-in-law apostrophe S house. Okay? So, yep, there is a lot going on. Amazing, right? And what else? Bzzz. Are you thinking? Are you reading along? Are you taking notes? Are you stopping frequently? This video is for you to stop, rewind, do whatever you need to do in order to engage fully with this. All right? And then we do fun stuff in class. What about names? Well, number one rule is depends on what the company wants. Okay, lots of different kinds. And, whoop, hello, Sophia. Hello, Kayla. So here we have a name. Then if it's just the one person, Sophia's car. But then if we mean more than just one Sophia, then we need to add the S for the plural. And then we need to add the apostrophe for the possessive. Blah, right? Lot. See that? Even though it looks weird, it ends in an S sound. But since it's only one person, remember the rule? It gets an additional S. However, when we have plural, then we actually go ahead and add only the apostrophe and no additional S. So, how does it work for your name? And what about abbreviations and acronyms? Well, number one is we use regular rules, except if they're, well, forget about that. So we use the rules. So if there is one CPA or one, whatever it may be, CPA, certified public accountant, then it gets an apostrophe S. However, if we have several CPAs already, and we want to say that CPA's office is over there, meaning lots and lots of CPAs, then we just add the apostrophe. Some of the possessive constructions get really weird. The chief of police's pension. Nobody would talk like that. Chief of police's pension. Instead, we take that construction and move things around to make it more the English that we would usually use. So, the pension of the chief of police, the business of my father's friend, the advice of my attorney. Okay? So, let's not be afraid to move things around. And what about foreign nouns? Lots of them actually come from the Latin roots. Criterion, criteria. Ooh, we had that in our vocabulary already. Okay? And continue on. Again, look it up if you're not sure. What about some special ones? Well, there are some that are only singular or only plural. For example, scissors. It's plural, but It actually means a pair, one scissors. Statistics, oh, news, that's everybody's favorite. So we can say the news is next. Weird, huh? Yeah, I hear it on the radio every morning when I wake up. Sometimes we leave something out, and that is that is implied, so that we know exactly what's missing and what is meant, but we don't actually write it out. So the party is at Francisco's. Francisco's what? Francisco's house, right? So that's implied. See how there is a possessive for that. Now it's time to review the chapter, of course, flip through it, just what makes sense already and what needs a little bit more TLC to make sense. Go ahead and check out the video lecture quiz. All right, see you then.